Hello, would you like to help your child become a great swimmer? I'm here today to give you some ideas on how to do that. My name is Aileen Swartz, and I am the author and illustrator of a book called How to Swim Like a Mermaid. How to Swim Like a Mermaid. Great news, you can help your children become safe and enthusiastic swimmers. The ideas in this book are specifically devised to improve new swim skills. You'll find out how to tap into your child's instinctive abilities by taking them to the pool often. Natural play through a variety of games and contests will take their swim lessons to the next level. In my experience, the first few lessons are often a time of adjustment. Save yourself a few bucks and introduce your child to the water before the paid lessons begin. Even gently pouring bath water over their head or encouraging to put their face underwater in the tub will help them acclimate. From this point on, the recommendations in this book are for adults who can swim and can safely supervise their children in the water. You will want to start slowly with anyone who seems timid around the water. Plan to arrive several minutes before swim lessons to help children ease into the pool. Some children may be wary of the water, which will require you to muster up extra patience. Tune into their specific needs and help them adjust by directly addressing their concerns. For example, if a child doesn't like getting into cold water, it will help if you pick a swim time later in the day when they have comfortably warmed up in the sunshine. These small steps are critical and will help children rapidly develop their skills. Free play promotes harmony in the water. To help children relax, you could suggest a splash contest, or you could show them how to make bubbles with their feet, or even just let them kick water from the poolside for a bit. When you notice they are comfortable, encourage the child to enter the pool and sit on the steps. Then enter the shallow water and let them get in with you. It may take the whole pool visit for your child to feel secure, which is why going to the pool frequently is key. I hope that you incorporate carefree play and that learning to swim will be a thrilling experience of discovery for your little fish. Technical notes at the end of the story will guide adults with the ideas to strengthen young swimmers. Best of luck turning your little one into a swirling, twirling mermaid or a speeding, racing dolphin. There's a disclaimer, swim at your own risk. Chapter 1, Sparkly Fin, Magical Friend. Sun glinted off the sparkly seashells placed on top of Callie's sandcastle. She stepped back to admire her beach masterpiece. It was fit for mermaid royalty. The hot sand fried her bare feet, and she hopped onto her towel. Ocean water glimmered with the promise of refreshment. She took a breath and dipped her toes into the soft foam along the water's edge, safe from the deep crashing waves. Eager to kick off their seashore vacation, her cousins, Joan and James, raced past her and splashed headlong into the waves. "Callie's a landlubber," Joan joked as she gracefully swam in the tide. James skimmed his little hand through a small breaker and splashed Callie. "Come on in, Callie. You're wet now," he playfully invited. "Maybe in a bit," she answered, hoping to sound braver than she felt. Aquamarine saltwater stretched all the way to the sky where it melted into the horizon. Callie longed to cool off, but her swim lessons from back home seemed no match for Mother Nature's powerful surf. She plopped down beside her sandcastle, and a large tear, as salty as the ocean, trailed down her cheek. An unexpected wave rushed up and whisked off a large chunk of the castle. Callie sighed as she watched it sink into the foam. Suddenly, she found herself face to face with a glimmering mermaid, perched on the water's edge. "Hello, you know mermaids don't cry," she informed Callie, cocking her head of flowing fuchsia hair. Callie's mouth fell open in disbelief. "Maybe because you can swim and you have too much fun to cry," Callie sniffed after a moment, eyeing her glittering green tail. "Perhaps," giggled the mermaid. "I'm Waverly. I've never met a real live little girl. If you'll be my friend, I can teach you how to become an amazing swimmer." Feeling very lucky, Callie nodded in cheerful agreement. "But how will you teach me?" Callie inquired. "With mermaid games," Waverly winked. Chapter 2, Adjusting to the Water. First, Callie sat in a few inches of water and looked at her hands just under the surface. Then she inspected her toes and wriggled them a bit to stir up some bubbles. The water began to feel a little more comfortable, and Callie scooted in a few more inches. Waverly coached Callie to take her time and to carefully dip her chin, her ears, and her hair into the refreshing aqua water. Next, Callie sucked in a deep breath of air, closed her mouth, and gently sunk her face into the coolness. She felt her own soft golden hair floating around her like a mermaid. Mermaids never hold their noses. We need our hands free for swimming or for collecting pirate treasure. You can hum or blow bubbles to keep water out of your nostrils, Waverly explained. Waverly rewarded Callie's hard work with a magical seashell from her crown. Delighted, Callie decorated the top of her sandcastle with the dazzling shell. This made the sandcastle an enchanted meeting place that would hide the mermaid. The charmed seashell also stirred up a passageway for Waverly to secretly enter the pool. That afternoon, Waverly found her new best friend Callie at the pool. She encouraged her to exit the pool water from inside the pool without using the steps. First, get both your elbows up onto the land. Then try lifting your body up and get one knee and foot into the dry area. That will help you get your other leg up. Think elbow, elbow, knee, knee, Waverly coaxed. Callie felt proud after she hoisted herself up onto the pool's cement deck. Chapter 3, Kicking and Paddling. The next day, Callie, coated in sunscreen, trotted to the beach with her family. She eagerly carried her special shell to the sandcastle and pressed it into the highest tower. The water sparkled and Waverly emerged in a fizzy white wave. Good morning, Callie. First thing today, we'll need to get your fin working, Waverly instructed. But Waverly, I have feet, not a fin, Callie giggled. Oh, right, Waverly grinned. Her crown of seashells began to glow and magical mermaid mist swirled around them. The two friends found themselves whisked through the secret passage to the pool. Okay, hold on to the edge of the pool and kick your feet fast, Waverly instructed. Callie stuck her feet behind her and she kicked hard until she felt her feet rise up behind her to the top of the water. She tried large kicks with great big splashes and then small fast kicks with almost no splash at all. Surprisingly, the smaller kicks worked best. Now try motoring this float around, Waverly smiled and tossed her a kickboard. As they kicked, Waverly told Callie about Bianca, her pet seahorse. Bianca could talk and she glistened with aqua scales. Callie picked up her noodle float. She pretended the float transformed into her own seahorse named Swish. Callie climbed aboard and kicked hard since Swish liked to go fast. As she sped around, the enchanting mist arrived once again and gently swept them back to the ocean. In the distance, a dog splashed into the waves to retrieve his ball and swam back with his head out of the water. Look, Callie, exclaimed Waverly. The dog is paddling. People can dog paddle too. Cup your hands with your fingers tightly together so they look like the dog's paws or little paddles. Callie pressed her fingers together and cupped her hands. I'll show you. It looks like this. Water swooshed by. As she paddled, she added kicks and discovered she could swim forward. Oh, here come your parents, Waverly pointed out, and with a flick of her emerald tail, she dashed off into the ocean depths. Callie's parents joined her among the gently sloshing whitecaps. She agreed to venture into deeper water with them and courageously swam back and forth between her mom and her dad. She blew bubbles and lifted her head to take breaths. They both complimented her strong swimming progress, and Callie beamed with pride. Chapter 4, Pirate Treasure. Callie's parents eventually exited the water to lounge on the sandy shore, and Waverly popped up again. Mermaids are experts at picking up pirate treasure, Waverly declared. She tossed several coins into the shallow water for Callie to retrieve. Callie sucked in a deep breath and kicked and paddled down to the coins. She blew bubbles from her nostrils to keep the water out of her nose. These look like real pirate treasure, she exclaimed, examining the coins closely. Waverly just winked. You get to keep the coins, Waverly stated as she awarded her with another sparkly shell. Chapter 5, Treading and Floating. Waverly ventured a little deeper and began to tread water with her head up in the breeze and her tail directly beneath her. She kicked her fin and her arms swooshed out beside her shoulders. Callie tried out this new skill too. She kicked her legs and scooped her arms back and forth to keep her head above the water. After a little while, she needed rest. Floating gives me a break from treading water, Waverly encouraged. It's easy. All you have to do is breathe in and lay back flat on your back in the water. She flipped onto her back. Keep breathing. Pretend that your belly button has a string attached to the sky and lift it up a little. This is the helicopter pose, Waverly informed Callie as she pulled her hands up under her armpits and sent her elbows out to the sides. She looked like a monkey laying in the water. Then she straightened her arms and reached away from her body, out to the sides, making a T with her body while still floating. Now I look like an airplane. Next is rocket form. She swept her arms down to her hips, fingers together, and this moved her through the water. When you float, think helicopter, airplane, rocket, and move your arms like I did over and over. This is what you should do if you ever feel tired while you're swimming. Usually at some point you'll bump into the side of the pool, and then you can climb out, Waverly explained. We mermaids call our games bubblers. I think we should play bubblers for the rest of your vacation, Waverly suggested. They merrily played together, blasting off like torpedoes, bobbing in the water, making funny hairdos, and hunting for treasure. Callie pretended to be a mermaid and swam with her feet together like Waverly's fin. After a week of fun and practice, Callie proved she could officially swim by jumping into the pool and swimming to the other end. Even though she had feet instead of a fin, she felt like a mermaid as she successfully swam the whole length of the pool. Waverly rewarded Callie with one more seashell for her hard work. Callie, thanks for your friendship. Keep up your great swimming. I'll miss you. They hugged goodbye, hoping to meet up again each summer. Callie impressed her family with her amazing new swim abilities. She now owned a pile of beautiful seashells that shimmered with a bit of summer magic. As they drove home, she made a list of all the bubblers she had learned. She couldn't wait to teach all her friends the new games. Chapter 6, Waverly's Favorite Bubblers, Mermaid Games. Bubbler number 1, Crazy Hairdos. Soak a bit of hair on the front of your head and twist it into a shape of a unicorn or a rhinoceros horn. The George Washington. Wet all your hair and make it hang over the front of your face. Then gently flip it back into a loop on top of your head where bangs would be on your forehead. Triceratops. Construct your hair into 3 formidable horns. What new wild hairdos can you invent? Bubbler number 2. Grab your goggles and get a friend to hold up fingers underwater. Place your face in or go under and try counting how many fingers are held up while you're holding your breath. Take turns. Bubbler number 3. How long can you hold your breath? Take a deep breath and see if you can count to 5 underwater before coming up for another breath. If you make it to 5, try to stay under longer next time or have a contest with a friend. How many seconds did you stay under? This is your record. Maybe next time you can break it. Bubbler number 4. Kick as hard as you can. You can kick around the pool or hold onto the side, a ladder, or step. Can you sing a song to the beat of your kicks? How high can you make your motor splash? Next, use small, hard kicks with your feet close together and keep your splashes as small as possible. Bubbler number 5. Make up a mermaid name and swim with your feet together. Here are some suggestions. Serena, Tiny Bubbles, Seafoam, Royal Blue, Coral, Misty, Shimmer, Rainbow Star, Sunlight, Bright Sky, Twinkle Shell, Periwinkle, Starshine, Moon Gleam, glistening pearl, or fin dasher. Some names I made up myself are, and you can list your names. Bubbler number 6, underwater gymnastics. Stay in the water and try out cartwheels, back bends, or even forward and backward flips beneath the surface. Practice and then give your parents a mermaid gymnastics show. Bubbler number 7, grab a float, noodle, or inner tube and pretend it's your pet seahorse as you enjoy the ride. If you don't have a float, your imaginary pet may be invisible. My seahorse's name would be, and it would be the color, and my pet would have a magical power, and you can just make up your answers there. Bubbler number 8, throw a few coins, pirate treasure, into the pool to pick up. Start in the shallow water or even on the steps. Bonus, this can even be used to teach money math. How much money did you earn? Bubbler number 9, see how far you can torpedo from the wall in one breath. See technical notes for torpedo directions. Try to beat your best distance or compete with a friend. Bubbler number 10, try bobbing. Hold hands with a friend or try it out by yourself. Jump at least 2 times, building up to 5 or more jumps. Bobbing, take breaths and jump up and down with your head and body completely submerging under shallow water. A new breath should be taken each time you exit the water. Old air should all be blown out while underwater. Humming the sound helps expel the old air and keeps water from going into your nose. Bubbler number 11, dog paddle and kick from one person to another or from the steps to the wall. See if you can go a little further each time and beat your last record. Try this while putting your face in the water. Blow some bubbles out and then lift your head to take breaths. Bubbler number 12, try out a water handstand and handspring and let the water help you do them perfectly. Point your toes or wiggle them to wave at the lifeguard. Land on your feet in the water or try ending in a floating position on your back. Bubbler number 13, have a parent or friend call out an animal name as you jump into the water. You try to make the animal's sound before you go under. Chapter 7, Advanced Bubblers for the Deep End. Bubbler number 14, Sharks and Minnows. The shark goes to one side of the deep end and stays in the water. Everyone else, the minnows, line up on the other side of the wall, prepared to jump or dive in to get to the other side. Make sure you have diving instruction first and follow appropriate precautions for dive safety at your pool. Do not dive in shallow water. The shark proclaims, "Sharks and minnows, 1, 2, 3, all the minnows in the sea," and pushes off the wall, swimming toward the minnows. The minnows must leave their wall before the shark touches it, or they become a shark too. They each pick when they want to leave the wall. The minnows must swim past the shark and touch the other wall to remain a minnow for the next round. If the shark tags them, they join the shark in the next round, chasing the minnows and gathering more sharks to join their team until everyone has been tagged. The game ends when the last minnow is caught. The first person, minnow, caught during the game becomes the new single shark in the next game. Bubbler number 15, the whirlpool. This game is great for a swim team or several friends. In the shallow end of a pool, start off holding hands in a circle and begin to move together in a clockwise or counterclockwise rotation. You may let go of hands or not and can jump, run, walk, or swim. Your body's movement will create a current. The current will begin to help push you around the circle, which is a surprising and fun experience. This is great for team and friendship building. Bubbler number 16, star or the movie game. One person, the star, goes to one side of the pool and stays in the water. Everyone else lines up on the other side, also in the pool. The star describes the movie and the others try to guess what it is. When they think they have the correct movie, they race and tag the wall the star is on. The first person to the wall gets to guess the movie. If they don't guess correctly, then the next person gets to guess, and so on. If no one can figure out the movie, they may ask for more hints. If no one can guess, the star chooses another movie and everyone returns to the opposite wall. Bubbler number 17, categories, also known as subject. To start, choose someone to be the caller. The collar goes to one side of the pool and stays in the water. Everyone else lines up in the pool on the other side, with at least one hand on the wall. The collar picks a category or subject of any kind. Some ideas include types of candy, colors, teams, sports, actors, songs, etc. Then the collar goes underwater and slowly counts to 10, holding fingers up above the water. Everyone discusses their choice within the category. Only one person per choice. That is, if the category is colors, one player chooses blue, another picks pink, purple, etc. The collar surfaces and guesses one of the possible answers from the category. If the guess isn't something anyone picked, the collar continues to guess. When the collar guesses someone's choice, they spring from the wall, and so does the collar, racing each other to the opposite sides of the pool. The winner of the sprint becomes the new collar and chooses a new category. Bubbler number 18, crazy races. Get creative and choose an unusual way to race your friends. For example, try holding a float with your toes, wearing a hat, holding a kickboard in one hand or on your head, pushing a ball in front of you, rolling over every time you take a stroke, and so on. These races may be individual or relays. Bubbler number 19, body surfing and light waves at the beach. Take proper beach precautions. Watch signs and flags for rip currents, undertow, and avoid enormous waves in stormy weather. Stand in the water just beyond the area where the waves break. Choose a medium wave, and when it gets to you, jump toward the shore with the wave in a torpedo form. You may swim a few freestyle strokes to get into the right position, but then go into the streamlined torpedo formation to ride the wave all the way to the shore. Timing is everything. It may take several attempts to achieve a great ride. Bubbler number 20, handless headstands. This is basically swimming upside down. In the deep end of a pool, position yourself vertically and upside down. Blow bubbles out of your nose and swish your hands and arms toward the bottom of the pool as you push your toes out of the water in a handless headstand. You may even be able to spin around with your feet in the air. Point your toes, and if you make it graceful enough, you will be doing water ballet. List the bubblers and swimming activities that you tried. How many magical seashells do you deserve for your progress? Waverly wants to reward you with magical seashells for your hard work. In my book, I have an area where you can color in some magical seashells from her crown, and then you can add your own, or you can just draw some on a piece of paper. Chapter 8, Notes for Parents and Instructors. Here are ideas to supplement your child's swim lessons. If your child has finished taking swim lessons, this should be a thorough review. Breath holding. In order to help a child swim, at first it is best for the adult to also enter the water and play and demonstrate some of these skills. Once your child has adjusted to the water, demonstrate breath holding with an exaggerated inhale. Puff out your cheeks and close your mouth. Then show them how to go under and blow bubbles from their nose or mouth. You can hold up a finger underwater for an imaginary birthday candle and have them pretend to blow it out. Exiting the pool. The best way for a child to exit the pool without a ladder is to hold on to the side of the pool and kick their feet underneath them in a vertical position. Then place their arms out flat onto the ground with both elbows bent like wings. They will be upright with their chest to the wall at this point. Next, they'll need to pull one leg out of the water and lay that knee, leg, and foot on the ground for leverage. When the leg is up, children may then roll or heave the rest of their body out of the pool using elbows and legs for momentum. Practice this a few times here and there because it is uncomfortable several times in a row. To help them remember these steps, chant with them, elbow, elbow, knee, knee. Kicking. The flutter kick is easiest for children. This is where they separate their feet, alternately kicking one at a time. Large splashes are not necessary for an effective kick. The kick actually starts from the hip. Knees are only slightly bent and the feet flop. The kick is a small movement with the feet only separating from each other by a few inches. The dolphin kick, another option they can try for some variety, is called the dolphin kick, or you could refer to it as a mermaid kick. In this kick, they keep their feet together and it is also powered from the hips. The dolphin kick is common in more advanced swimming. That is, it is a component of the stroke butterfly. Holding onto the wall or using a kickboard will help develop and strengthen the kick. Noodles and other floats also work for kicking practice. Basic dog paddling. Cupping hands slightly with fingers together is key in dog paddling and moving through the water. To dog paddle, take turns with each cupped palm facing down and push the water from in front of the chin down past the chest. Elbows bend and hands are fairly close to the body. Adding kicking with feet behind the body, and the child should be able to stay near the top of the water. Their head may stay out of the pool and upright during dog paddling. Encourage taking breaths, putting their face in, and going under while they paddle. Keeping the head out expends more energy, so dog paddling completely underwater is more efficient and is less exhausting. To get started, you may find it helpful to support the child with a hand under their stomach as they get used to the motions. Hand paddling, kicking, and lifting their head. Having the child dog paddle between two adults who start out close together is a great exercise. Scoop the child out of the water if she seems distressed in any way. As the child becomes better at paddling, build strength by spacing further and further from the other adult. This drill, along with your words of encouragement, also promotes confidence. Torpedo, also known as streamline. Caution, have the child aim outward and not toward the bottom of the pool or wall, as this may cause injury. Have your child push off the steps or the side of the pool and see how far they can torpedo outward, parallel to the top of the water. As they push off and go under, their arms reach out and forward, bringing their hands together in a point so they are in a pencil or torpedo shape. When the torpedo is gliding, straight legs trail behind with toes pointed. This streamlined position effectively cuts through the water with the least resistance and is used in competitive swim races. Once the torpedo slows down, they start their stroke. When the torpedo has been mastered from the side of the pool, explain to the child that they can also torpedo up from the bottom of the pool to the surface. This works best in deeper water. Have them jump into the water feet first and hold their breath. When their feet reach the bottom, they should bend their knees for a solid push that will propel them to the surface. Floating. Have your child take a deep breath and lay on their back on the top of their water to get started. You will want them to relax as much as possible while floating. They may breathe freely once positioned. It is helpful to place your hands under their back while they get comfortable with the position. Then slowly remove your supporting hands and let them float alone. If they bend at the waist or will not lay their head back in the water, face out and up, it will cause them to sink. Sprawl arms and legs on the surface and let feet and ankles sink a little. A few light kicks or arm movements for balance are fine. Encourage them to push their belly button toward the sun. Once they have achieved relaxed floating, teach them the safety by including arm motions that will move them around the pool in case they are distressed or tired. Helicopter, arms bend with elbows out to each side. Hands are cupped near armpits like a monkey. Airplane, arms stretch out to each side, forming a T with their body. Rocket, cupped hands swoop down to their sides, propelling them forward. Repeat these motions until they reach a wall. They may yell for help while in this position since their mouth will be freely up in the air and not struggling for a breath. If the child is dog paddling, you can have them enter the floating position by bringing their kicking legs from behind them to underneath to in front of them, and then they lay back and begin floating. Treading water. Kick with the head out of the water and body upright. This can be a flutter, scissors, or frog kick. Dolphin kick is more difficult, but great for exercise and advanced swim drills. Position arms out to the sides, slightly under shoulder level, and scoop water back and forth. Fingers should be together, and hands are very slightly bent into paddles for effectiveness. This is called sculling. Palms face each other as they swoop in front of the chest, and then face out or back as the arms swoop back. Sculling may also be practiced while seated on a noodle float because using the arms to balance promotes the correct sweeping motions. Final challenge. As a final exercise to wrap up all the skills learned, have your child jump into the deep end of the pool, attempt to touch the bottom with their feet, and blast upward for air. Then, instead of going back to the wall, have them swim all the way to the end of the pool. You can do this activity in close proximity to the wall that travels the length of the pool, so they may grab on if they feel the need. You should also swim very closely with them in case they run out of energy and need assistance. Eventually, they will build endurance and be able to swim longer distances with ease. Each task should be accompanied by a great deal of praise. Compliments stating your approval and positivity will help the learner remain excited about all their accomplishments and eager to learn and practice more. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you will like this video and leave some comments. Ask about how to swim like a mermaid at your local library. You can also find it online with the links that I've provided, and you can view my author website at aileenswartz.com.